Jumping into part 2 of the IMR for the week ending Friday 7th July. We want to look at the Nifty 50 stocks and see how they are all stacked up. So as we all know, we are sort of 50-50 on the Nifty uh, in the sectoral and the global index overview, and really no clarity. And even at the sector level, some are bullish, some are bearish, some are iffy. So it's a pretty much split situation, but the heavyweight sectors like banks, autos, capital goods, and IT are all in bearish mode, or at least correction mode. So let's look at the Nifty 50 stocks in sector-wise order. So it's just how my list is arranged, no particular preference as such, starting with autos. So looking at Bajaj Auto first, just alphabetical again. Clearly, what we had already mentioned 2 weeks back is coming true more and more. Bajaj Auto breaking down. It's gone from its high of around 3,050 to 2,700, and very basically at its one of the earlier lifetime highs. Now, what Bajaj Auto has clearly done is put a nice double top in place, as you can see on the weekly chart, and is now being sort of, I think run over by the bears. You can see that selling is on the weekly chart increasing, and I think the momentum towards further down move on Bajaj Auto is very, very much there. Having said that, on the daily chart, the thing to note is that it's back to its old um, life high support zone now. Whether it takes support on that is basically the thing to watch out for, but my take would be that it's more likely to break down than break out. So any up move on Bajaj Auto, maybe even all the way to 2,700, 2,780, should be used to go short with the stop loss 50 to 100 rupees above. And if 2,700 breaks, then I think at least 2.6 is definitely possible on Bajaj Auto. Looking at Hero Motors, so that's definitely doing much better than Bajaj Auto, and that has also corrected a bit, but technically this is definitely at a better situation than Bajaj. Um, Maybe just a matter of time that it breaks down, really. The thing is that it's at some nice support zone from about 2 months back at a 50-day moving average, lower Bollinger Band, etc. But once these give away, you will suddenly see one 100 200 rupee drop that materializes just in a day or two, and there's no way that one can um, um, see that coming. But if you're positioned, then yes, I think a stop loss, a short for a short, a stop loss on the spot price at around 3775. First thing to be wary of 3640, and then after that maybe 35 and even 33 is definitely possible. So that's Hero Motors. Maruti, surprise. So now, these things going up post or post GST prices. Right now, a tentative double top on the daily charts. Maruti has had an excellent, uptrend, as you can see. The stock has basically doubled in the last 2 years. Amazing performance on the slightly longer term charts also. It is actually going from strength to strength, no doubt about it. I was thinking about a rising wedge here, but I will give that a buy. Now a pass, and this looks like a flag at this point, could break out. Again, no problems with the indicators. Let's get rid of these lines, and Maruti looking good. So possible that the combination of lower prices and good monsoons uh, is going to be something which is a plus for these guys, right? So that's Maruti. So no shorting Maruti. On the other hand, I'm not sure I would be aggressively long on it or taking fresh positions, but shorting Bajaj or Hero Motors definitely something one can look at. M&M has definitely gone off its highs, and M&M very unusual to see such a range bound movement for 4 days, lows almost matching, highs almost matching. But I do believe that M&M I think has to perhaps I was going to say go lower. Then I saw the volumes and I saw the indicators and I held myself back. I think we'll just pass on this and wait for more clarity on the longer term chart. M&M range bound for 2.5 years, and till actually that way it breaks out of 1500, one should really perhaps stay away from this stock. There is no clear direction. Tata Motors, on the other hand, there is clear direction. It is bearish, and the critical thing to watch is 420 rupees on Tata Motors. Will that 420 rupees break or will it not break? If it breaks down, then definitely all the way to 380 is a distinct possibility, right? 380 is a very, very distinct possibility. All right, so Tata Motors at 420. Uh, you have to wait and watch. Now, with the price reductions that Tata Motors has announced on the vehicles, and also part of in correction of larger price as well, in terms of, I'm wondering, if a company reduces prices in some larger fashion, then what's cooking? Is there something not okay with the sales, etc., etc.? So you can see on this daily chart that we actually have a pretty big descending triangle, right? It's a pretty big one all the way here. You could take the measuring implication of 550 to 420, that's 430, that's 110 rupees. If 430 breaks, 110 rupees means a 320 rupees stock. Before 320, around 350, 355 is good support. So could that correct all the way down there? Quite a distinct possibility. The only problem is we will not know till later. Just have to wait and watch. But this is a really good setup. There is no indication on the volumes or on the indicators, at least on the daily charts, to hint what is going to happen. And I would say neither is there any hint on the weekly chart. Truly one of those, I'm just being dramatic, but nail biting setups. I would not really take a view one way or the other. It could move back up. If it does, for now the upside is limited to about 450, 460, at which point it could be another great time to short. Massive amount of resistances for it to go through 485. On the other hand, a breakdown below 420, 435 could be a really great opportunity. And for those who are slightly on the adventurous, aggressive side, you could short even now with the stop loss at around 445, 455 also on the spot. The key thing is for it to break 425, then I think 400, then in steps of 5s and 10s all the way to 360 short. Eicher Motors, I would say, perhaps just wait and watch. It has taken support here. That's what it is doing, as you can see. Okay, it's taken support there, and overall, I'm more inclined to say it is, bearish. I think it would do that breakdown from 26,350 and go all the way to 25,000 is I think a distinct possibility. 25,000 is a very, very distinct possibility on Eicher Motors. Uh, Stop loss 28,450, 28,500 on the spot, but 24,000, 25,000 I think could happen. May not happen this month, but could happen, right? Bosch. So broke out of a symmetrical triangle of a pretty big size, from 2015 onwards, but now looking a little iffy. Not sure if you look at this on the weekly chart, it doesn't seem to have really made clear-cut decision or breakout. Volumes were there, went up, but now petering out, and given the overall state of the market, beginning to have a little doubt on this, right? Of course, not direct automobiles, it is ancillaries and all, and a conglomerate, but still, this is something that it could. Let's see how it pans out. All right, so Bosch, then ACC is at a triple top. There is no doubt about that. A clear triple top. I think it's unlikely to break 1750 right now. We'll just have to wait and watch and see what happens with ACC volumes. Looks like selling volume is picking up on ACC. At least there's no bullish volume. That's for sure. All the stuff on the indicators, none of it is like supportive of a strong uptrend right now. That's one trend from 2017 that one can look at. Wait and watch. Ambuja, right? So Ambuja has been showing more strength than the others for some time, and it has been able to go past 250 on some volume, but now some hesitation. It could go back to 260, 265. Not really sure about that. We'll just have to wait and watch. Not as much as a triple top on Ambuja as you saw in ACC. We'll have to see whether it actually can go there or not. Right. Again, no clear strong setup, so I'm not going to recommend anything. But this is clearly, an amazing move. Grasim last week, or rather, yeah, last week broke out, went up. This week just went up there, and one has to wonder what's cooking in Grasim, because none of the other stuff is, none of the other cement stocks, at least so far, large cap ones, have shown strength. And on the weekly chart, this is continuing to show strength, except for a small shooting star or spinning top. But you can see the increasing volumes. There's still bullishness on the weekly charts. Grasim, not a stock I would want to short. So you can see some sort of internal divergence within the cement space. ACC clear triple top, Ambuja not so much, and something like Grasim, still going bullish, and Ultratech, on the other hand, sort of showing signs of weakness, though Ultratech has been in a pretty nice long uptrend all the way from 2009. Now, well, no way to know whether this uptrend is going to break or not, but yeah, this is a strong trend and should not be shorted. Is it okay to go long? I would somehow hold my uh, horses on that. I would want to wait and watch. But from a trading perspective, yes, I think one could, still think about it. Hold on. Okay, there is clearly a bearish divergence on. Right. Now, the thing about bearish divergences in a strong uptrend is that it's not necessarily that they'll come true. Uh, oh, hold on. This is on a weekly chart. I missed that. Okay. This is really interesting. A lot of thoughts racing through my mind. Give me a minute. Okay, if Ultratech is able to go back towards 4400. It's at 4100 now. I'm saying something which is a little bit far away, 10% almost. But if it goes back to 44, 4500, I think it'll be a good time to short at that time. Right now, it is a possibility that this could break out and do another 50, 100 points up, but I doubt whether it is going to go up much beyond that. So one could short it at higher levels is my view on Ultratech. And if that pans out, then yeah. This looks good, looks good. Okay. Short-term bullish, long-term bearish is how I would put it. Another view is you could look at it aggressively, put a stop loss at around 4200 for sure on the spot and go short on this. And all it has to do really is break below 4020, 4000. It took support on the 200-day moving average last time, but I don't think it will be able to do that this time when it falls down. Okay, fine. So why I'm pausing so much, I normally don't on a single stock, is this divergence that I saw on the weekly chart, which tells me, for now at least, that there is limited upside or at least a sideways move, right? Okay, yep. Okay, moving on. FMCG pack, well, we saw the very nice FMCG index being bullish. Let's look at the explanation for that, and that's here, ITC, right? And ITC weekly is what you see here. And what's interesting is the indicators are all very strong, but this week has clearly been a selling week. You can see the selling red candle this week. But if you go to the daily chart, and that's where it really becomes interesting. So you saw this big gap up over the weekend. I'm not sure what the trigger was, because this was not 3 days back. There was the news about taxes on cigarettes and tobacco products coming down, but what is going on here before, I don't know what the event was, but clearly something was cooking, and something cooking specifically with ITC at least, right? Because not many of, or rather none of the other major FMCG stocks did as well as ITC did. Had a nice gap. That gap is almost closed, but again not yet. The trend is still very much strong and up and bullish. The volumes are like, not sure what may or may not happen, and tough to make out whether this is going to go up or down. But if I look at it on the weekly chart, having some doubts as to perhaps it will probably come down maybe to at least 320 level. So no shorting, but on the other hand, not any aggressive longs on this either. I'm just thinking of something else. It's very similar picture a few months back on HDFC, right? I think HDFC Bank, right? This is here on the left, right? Yeah, this gap, right? It was because of some news about FI limits being opened up because of one big, huge debt settlement or something happening on its capital structure. Gapped up, did some 3-4 days of sideways move, and then again it moved up, and all the way from 1300, 1400 to 1700. So that's a big move, and that's about 4-5 months. Now, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen with Hindustan Unilever, with ITC, right? But you can't be sure. I mean, this is going to go to 400 rupees. A lot of things are on the plus side for it, or will it come back? So wait and watch is the best thing in ITC, right? Okay. All right. So ITC, if we leave it, HUL, right? So if you look at HUL, a very simple clean chart, it's been doing this sideways dance since whole of June, right? And volumes have been coming down. It's really taken a pause at 1100 basically, and deciding what it will do next, right? So last week, when we had done the IMR, I had mentioned that HUL was doing this, right? That it was doing a broadening formation, and that broadening formation, I think, just got confirmed. Right now, that was then. Now, if I have to modify this, then of course this is how it would be now. Not modify, sorry, update. All right. Thing is, it still has to make up its mind. Okay, so it's really run away fast and quick. It is not able to somehow go above 1100, 1120. Volumes are clearly falling. It's clearly on a wait and watch, on a pause mode. Um it could break down, it could break out. Last week, 2 weeks back, sorry, I had said that this was possibly a short, and I said that a lot more, what do I say, definitively after looking at this triple, sorry, ah, sometimes it's a irritation. This triple star formation, and that too on a weekly chart. Very, very interesting, right? You could see it maybe clearer now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 weeks of uncertainty. What will it do, right? Uh, no way to say, of course, but I think this support is going to get tested 960, around 970, right? And then maybe we'll see the next leg of the up move, right? So why I'm spending so much time on this is that on the one hand, you've got this ITC, which is clearly, doing something else very bullish. And then you've got HUL, which is on a pause and, wait and watch pause mode, and looks like more and more sort of maybe going to, I mean, just my view, correct. And the FMCG index, on the other hand, is showing, some amount of strength. So within the index, two of the top two heavyweights doing two very, very different and opposite things. Interesting to get into the details, and then you see how much different it can be. If I had to really again decide, and there was no other choice, I would be long on ITC and short on HUL, right? Not that they are great setups, but with a lot of iffiness. But if I had to, is just what I'm saying. So HUL is something you could track these two basically for the next few weeks. You probably learn a lot as to how within a sector things can behave very differently. But anyhow, just to reiterate, if HUL breaks below 1064, 1060, then I definitely think it's going to go lower, and 1050 psychological mark, 1050, and then 1000 will definitely be some levels to watch out for. Interesting that after it broke through 1000 here, it really didn't hold that as a resistance from 1000 to 1120, and time to test 1000 and the low life high, it'll happen at some time, right? Whether it happens now or not, I don't know. And disclaimer that I am short on HUL. All right, okay. Coming to the oil and gas space, we've been talking about oil and gas, totally being out of whack for many months now. Global crude oil prices coming down. But IOC, BPCL, HPCL also are going down, which is unusual. It's also true that none of our fuel bills have really gone down as much as they should actually. But anyhow, there are many different reasons for that. IOC continues on that downtrend, and I do believe that till it comes to 360, it really will not find a base to go back from, simply because it's also support, and the 200-day moving average is there. So perhaps the best move is over from 450 to now, but 360 is definitely on the way, can be shorted with a stop loss at around 390, 392. ONGC continues to fall, right? Global crude oil prices coming down. It is really, really weak. What's interesting, however, is on the multi-year chart, it's come back to its support level. So where does it go from? Here. If you notice that if we have to find something earlier in the past, then maybe somewhere here is the next support, and that would be at 140. The stock is at 160. That's not a bad shot at all, right? Of course, from 200 to 160 already it's gone, but 140 is, I think, quite a possibility. The volumes on the sell side are quite good. There is really nothing in terms of strength anywhere in any indicator, and daily chart, looking at that now, 160, one could think about shorting it. 160, if there's you short it with a stop loss at 164, 165, wait for 155 to break, and then 150 is a distinct possibility. The scenario that comes to my mind for this to completely go wrong and things to spike up is if there's something that happens that North Korea does, right? So now they have gone out to using out and out foul and abusive language about America, about threatening the rest of the world. And well, something will have to be done, is like what Donald Trump said. Nobody knows what the hell to do, but if some event just happens, then a spike in global crude oil for some time at least could give some relief to the ONGC stock. Having said that, BPCL on the other hand has done something interesting, and this is where technical analysis is really great. BPCL has run up. It's run up from 605 to 666. That's a clear 10% up move. And the only reason I can think of is a technical reason. It fell like everything else, came back to a multi-year support, or at least a 2-year support, pretty strong one obviously, and then took off on the way up on a with good volumes on top of that. But I'm really wondering whether this is sustainable or not, and I'm thinking that this perhaps could be a good time to short, especially if it goes around 680, 675. It's already at about 660, yeah, 675, 680, short it with a stop loss at around 690, and once it breaks below 650, I think it'll probably go back to 620, 610. I mean, this is a trading view, definitely nothing to do with investing, right? And if it does break 600, 606, and in steps of tens all the way to 550, maybe even 500 is possible, right? Okay, GAIL, Gas Authority of India, of course nothing to do with crude oil as such, but that's also been in bear mode for the last few months, since May. Taking support on 200-day moving average, a little iffy. I would say that if it goes up, good time to short right now. Would let it pass, but if it breaks 350, go short quickly with a stop loss around 360, 363, and 330 would be the target for GAIL. NTPC is my bugbear. Somehow never had a feel for that stock, so I'm going to let it pass. Besides, it's consolidating sideways for donkeys, months and years. Don't know, can't seem to make up its mind what it wants to do. I can't understand why anybody would want to trade this or invest into this, right? If you have any trends, these are all like years and really nothing great. So as usual, I'm going to give a pass on that. Uh, Power grid. So power grid, broke through 150, 160, sorry, 160, and then, went all the way to 209. Still looking good actually on the weekly chart, but there is obviously some weakness that is appearing. Long term is looking not bad. Even daily chart is nothing compelling to say that you should short it. I'm actually looking at it and thinking sticking like a leech to 210. Okay, that's 210, 213. That's too strong leech. But this is probably something to consider going long at lower levels and not think of shorting it. Even if the overall market corrects, this is something just to keep at the back of your mind as a potential good long-term buying stock if and when we get more attractive prices on this, right? So let's see what we can do with it. Okay, so power grid. Okay, Tata Power. So Tata Power, again, no view on this simply because it is really range bound and not sure what it's going to do around that resistance line that you see, right? Will it break up through 84? Volumes are low. Indicators suggest that it might. If it does, it might suddenly go to 88, 89. Maybe a trading opportunity, not a short one, a long one. But again, maybe just pass it for now. Reliance, well, that is one stock that we've been ranting about. I have been ranting about for weeks and months now. And again, disclaimer that I have long positions on this, positional longs, and it's been handsomely rewarding for the last few weeks. And then of course there are these very painful down moves when, especially if you are in the derivative side, you are looking at large MTM negatives and you're like, am I doing the right thing, wrong thing? But for those of you who know the RIL story, I mean, really nothing to repeat. It's a multi-year breakout. Today it hit 1500. It's still going to probably rise further. The volumes are clearly there. I mean, this is a classic. This is a classic textbook trade follow-up, multi-year setup, once in many, not okay, I was going to say once in many year opportunity. Actually, if you scan a large set of stocks, you'll actually keep finding quite a few of these opportunities. This happens to be in the FNO space. That's why it is far more exciting. But yeah, this is one clear long candidate with zero shorting, and every correction you just accumulate and wait for it to go to its life high of 1700, and then we will review. So Reliance, no matter what that happens to the Nifty, by the way, all right, do not short Reliance, just keep buying it for the long term and bullish. Coming to the banks, HDFC Bank, well, I've said one thing about HDFC Bank last week, 2 weeks back and before. Don't short this. Okay, no matter what happens to the rest of the world and no matter what happens to the Indian market or bank nifty or is RBI policy, never, for now, no, I won't say never, don't short HDFC Bank, right? Risky move. If anything, wait for it to correct to go long, but do not short HDFC Bank. And I reiterate that view. Do not, no fresh positions on this thing at this point. Though when you look at it on, let's see, weekly. Okay, weekly showing little bit of weakness in the indicators, but otherwise okay. But daily also showing some weakness, but again, it's okay, leave it. See again today, volumes picked up. All right, so keep it in your long-term portfolio, forget about it otherwise. ICICI Bank going sideways. 290. Um, this has been a really big, what do I say, underperformer in the banking space for a few years now. It's just not been able to go back to its life high for quite a long time. Other stocks have. So nothing great to write home on this. But in spite of all the negatives we are seeing on the bank nifty and all that, okay, one sorry. Right, you look at this in this fashion, I have to only think that this is one really long extended flag that is going on painfully long, almost 6 weeks. But if it breaks out at around 297, more like 300, then tuck, 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 I think 310, 315, 320 will just happen like that, right? So to bring in a completely different picture, there is all this NPA mess, and not that private banks are too badly affected by it, or at least not as much as the public sector banks. But ICICI Bank did have some, not some great loans given out. But if something gets fixed on that, just on a very company specific and fundamental basis, there could be a trigger for this to shoot, right? But leave it, wait till that happens, put an alert for 295 and then at 298 and then keep watching. For now, no trades, no positions. If you have to and you are, I don't know, addicted to ICICI Bank, then maybe you can consider a 280 or 300 call option and just leave it at that. Kotak. So Kotak has gone to its life high, is correcting, and again, nothing great on the volume side. So this is gone to 950. Would not want to do anything again. Uh, Maybe if it corrects to around 900 or those, yeah, around 900, then one could definitely look at it. But otherwise, I would want to give it a pass. And again, no long positions either. Just leave it. If it corrects, then we'll see. Could this be a downtrend flag corrected from 1000 to 950 going up like this? Let's put this up. Right, this could be a downtrend flag. We'll have to wait and watch. There could be a shorting opportunity, but again, this is one of the stocks which gets quickly bought on corrections to go long. So would be very careful. You might want to have a target of 950 first. It's gone to 970 or something today, corrected a bit to 964. 950, and if 950 breaks, then 920 may not happen. Don't be too greedy on a short with this setup. IndusInd Bank, well, another one not too short, quite strong. Okay, it's gone to 1500. Might be itching to go higher. It has wanted to do corrections, but now I don't think that's really the mood for this stock. Indicators weekly wise quite strong. So if you have this, please continue holding it. I would, even at this point, I would say don't even put a stop loss on this if you have it, but no shorting. Fresh positions, I'd wait. Axis Bank, this is another one like ICICI Bank, just going sideways, but this one has gone sideways for almost the whole of this year, right from March to now. 500 rupees, I have no clue. This is stuck to 500 rupees really like a leech. Okay, 500 rupees plus minus 10 bucks, and at some point you can be sure some news will come out and it's going to be 10-20% up or down. On the other hand, you can look at 2015, 2016, 2017 as basically a broad range bound move. A nice double top at 640 as you can see, and it will be interesting to see what it does. Is this I mean, any line I put is really not going to fit in my opinion. I'm just sort of putting boundaries here for the sake of putting boundaries. Okay. Right. So that's it. It's not a flag. It's not a rectangle. It's just something. And best to wait and watch. Volumes also you can see are tapering off May, June. Something is cooking. That's all I can say. Something is cooking in this stock. I don't know. Is this being taken over by some large conglomerate? Is some NPA issue? Is some merger, or I don't know. Something is cooking. Watch for the news. That's all I can say for now. I have no other information or I don't have any insider information, I think. But something is cooking. The stock is going to be 580 or 440, right? Or at least 460. 460 or 540, 560 very soon is my feel. I mean, very soon as in sometime this year. If anybody is interested, watch for some big move in this stock sometime. I don't know how, alerts or um, pre-populated orders if you have something like IB, interactive brokers, and lucky it just happens. You could build a just like the Nifty. This is another one where you could look at a 500 straddle long and maybe a 540 480 short strangle, right? So that's another thing to think about. Yes Bank. So corrected from 1650 to 1460, now doesn't seem to really know what to do. Even the moving averages have sort of flattened out, gone sideways. Volumes are iffy. Well, let's leave it, let it do what it wants, and then we'll take a call. State Bank of India so has come down from 305 to 275, taken support on moving averages. And then the thing about SBI is, look at this, 2011 to now. All right, let me make it even on a monthly chart. Okay, just keep it weekly. So from here, that was 2010 basically, to now, it's been range bound between 160 and 300. All right. So again, this is one of those long-term things, multi-year type um, games. It could really someday break below 160, which I think right now there's no reason I can think of on that right now. But it could, on the other hand, break 340, 360, and then we'll see this go to 400. Right now, really nothing, no direction. Short-term traders could try this or that, but again, the way it is set up in terms of charts, look at this. Some selling, broke down on selling, and then has gone up. And that yellow line, okay, it is at 285. It's got the 200-day moving average below that at 270, range bound stuck in between. Whether it's going to break out or break down, really tough to say. Right? So that's State Bank of India. So I don't have a call on this in terms of a trade. Right? It could break out of this, go up 10 rupees, 50 rupees, and then suddenly come back down. Or on the other hand, it could take resistance tomorrow and come back down. So it's too iffy. Bank of Baroda, okay. Similar story like SBI, except that its range is sometimes you look at charts and you don't know really what to make of them. All right, they look this, they look that. When you do that, move on. Okay, move on. Housing finance companies, HDFC, 1650. Again, one of those stocks that I would not want to short. 1650 is a stock that could easily go to 2000 just this year, in my opinion. Though there are, right, let's see. Okay. Is looking to see long term, I mean medium versus weekly, etc. Again, no shorting. You can buy this for your long term portfolio, but don't short this and don't do anything in the derivative side at this point. India Bulls Housing Finance, well, okay, that is looking a little interesting. Are we having a sort of rounding top here? And are we going to see the neckline break down? Because all right. I like the rounding top sometimes. So just looking at it more closely, could be a short. Nice, actually low risk setup. 1115 as a stop loss. 1044 breaks, then definitely 1010 for sure, and then who knows, even 950 is possible. One could think about it. Well, let's look at the rest of the housing finance companies, and then we'll have a better. Oh, there's only two. Right, so that's it. I mean, HDFC and India Bulls Housing Finance, and you got to really take a call on this. All right. Okay. TCS coming to IT. What a crack from 2700 to 2350. He just has completely come down, but the volumes have now really settled down. I would do nothing. Let it come to 2300 or even 2260, and then we will review on this. Infi, interesting. Is Infi forming a base? That is the question in my mind, and I don't have an answer right now. I will wait and let it decide, make up its mind, and then take a call. Until then, maybe do nothing. Not maybe, will do nothing on this stock. Is Infi forming a base? It is symmetrical triangle, that's for sure at this point. Volumes are very atypical for a triangle, so we don't know. Will it break down or break out? That also we don't know. Looks like it wants to break down, but I would definitely think this is, one should wait and watch and then decide. If for some reason okay, I'm trying to think if there's any hint in the volumes. Looks like more selling than buying interests. Yep, clearly. Interesting. If it breaks 925, I think definitely one could consider shorting it till 900 at least But on the other hand, 900, yes, 900 at least. After that, we will see if 900 breaks, then that will really be the, then it could crack down much, much, much more. 900 breaks, then 850 or 800 is, I think, quite possible. Okay. Wipro, oops, sorry. How come? Oh, yeah. Wipro had a corporate action, right? Yeah, I was wondering where all my studies went. Yeah, I did a bonus, I think. Yeah, all my studies have gone. All those lines. Actually, we'll all, sometimes it's good that this happens because then you look at the chart again from fresh eyes, and instead of just adding to a preformed opinion which you remember now, because the corporate action has happened, it's a fresh chart, and you take a fresh view. So what I like to do is just put off some of the important levels for my reference, and well, there you have it. It's at 250, right? It's at 250, and what does it do? Looks like a lot of the, at least TCS was also close to a good support. Infi is close to a good support. This has actually been on an uptrend, which is definitely behaving differently from the rest of the IT pack. But this fall looks like common to all. So something triggered off. I don't know what, Trump or something. 280. All right. So given its behavior actually from late 2016, I think I would say that one could look at going long on this, perhaps support 250, does it 260, 250, 260, it's range bound. If one wants, if there's something like a 260 call, one could buy that, and also buy the 250 put. One of those will probably break, but I'm somehow inclined to think that this might actually go up rather than go down. On the other hand, let it decide. We'll no need to force ourselves to find a trade. If you find something which is very nice like RIL, trade. If you find something really nice like maybe HDFC long, buy. You know, but if it's iffy, don't. Same thing with HCL Technologies sitting at started to rise, as you can see, from 700 to 900. Again, something very different from what the other large cap IT companies did, but now collapsed something in June, something happened, could break down at 830 and suddenly find itself at 810 and then turn around. So there is maybe a short-term trade here, okay, which is like short it, stop loss at around 845, or even if it goes up, go short with a stop loss at 850, 855, and it goes below 830, then go to 810, right? That is what HCL Tech would be. Tech Mahindra, this is one thing that fell perhaps the most in terms of percentage. And well, is there any hope for it in terms of a recovery? I somehow think maybe it is a little premature. The way it's going down, that downtrend just seems to be accelerating. Ah, come on. Sorry. One thing with Tammy Broker, and it's risky move. One could actually think about buying it, but it would be an aggressive trade, might actually go down to 300 also. I would rather think that wait for it, because you've got a green candle today. That's why I'm thinking what's happening. Could go up to 390, which point it might be a good place to short. Otherwise, wait and watch. Okay, again, nothing compelling. All right, nothing compelling on the IT space. We'll move on. Hindalco. So this is clearly, going sideways. The metal index was showing strength actually. This one has not broken out 200, so it's range bound between 190 and 200. Actually, sort of right in the middle of that at around 195. Again, this is too early to say what it will do. It's come to a multi-year resistance level, taking its time to, I think what it wants to do. This is a weekly chart, and if it breaks out, then 250 is easily possible. On the other hand, it could just come back, correct a bit. Really no major correction that has happened in this since 2016 lows. So we'll just, maybe 140 could happen, maybe 250 could happen. Really nothing on the chart right now to say one way or the other, so we'll leave it. What you could do is put an alert for 200 and see if it breaks out. Also put an alert for 190, 185 and see if it breaks down. Yes. Tata Steel, whoa, going up. What's happening? Surprised. I'm definitely surprised to see this. Okay, Tata Steel. So this trend line we had put here, and if you were there, we had mentioned this as a head and shoulder top. Actually broke down, met the measuring implication for a short trade, and then is swiftly back up again. And something happened here, big volumes cooked, there, then stayed sideways for about 6 weeks at around 500, and then just took off. It's at 550 now, and looks like it is all set to go higher. There is really no correction that I can see on this 600 or 575. So if there's a correction, maybe one should think about actually buying Tata Steel. All right, so this definitely explains why the uh, metal index went up. Coal India, again, this is one stock that 250 psychological mark. That's all. Really nothing else. It's the 250 psychological mark that it is at, and will it take support or will it break down? Because if it breaks down, then the next level is at 240. All small moves. Yeah, looks like it is definitely taking support. There's no doubt about it. On Coal India is taking support. 14.5. The selling pressure has definitely reduced. Yeah, the big time selling that started here at around 325 levels, and then it came down to 280, and then the selling has clearly subsided. Right? There's still selling going on, but the selling has considerably come down. Question is now, is there a build-up happening, at around this 250 mark. Hmm, maybe. What I have is some volume indicators on this chart, PVT, OBV, and very early signs of possible accumulation. I have to say this with a lot of if. But yes, if this actually pans out, then we could be looking at a nice low risk opportunity to buy. So I'm going to stick my head out on this as in more like a long term thing rather than a trading thing. I actually want to do this in the spot market, not in the derivatives market, unless you're a high risk guy. Go long on this with a stop loss below 241. Long term patience as in like months together. For now 260 and then maybe even 280. Yeah, I won't say anything beyond that. May even happen, who knows, by the end of the month. No, sorry, by the end of the year. Uh, that will be like almost 15-20% on this. Okay, you could be looking at that as a it's come to about half or less than, yeah, just about little less than half of its peak price. Not that anything, it's just that it's on a multi-year support, it's on a support which is, what is this? Yeah, right from the day of listing. This is the full chart. This is so from 2011 or definitely from 2014. So you're talking about 3-4 year support line. Yep, you can stick your neck out. I'm sticking my neck out and saying maybe a buy, at least for a trader. Yep. Sun Pharma, coming to pharmaceuticals and I mean healthcare space. So this stock badly beaten down. 1,200 rupees is now, had gone to almost 400 rupees. Big drop, recovered nicely from a low of around 500 all the way to 560. Whether it's going to see another down move before it pushes up, I don't know, but 500 psychological mark, interesting price. You could gap almost closed. Go long, stop loss at 541, 538 for your long, and once it clears 560, then 570, very quick opportunity. 570 is very likely, and then maybe even 580. We'll see. Right. So yeah, long opportunity on Sun Pharma. Dr. Reddy's, well, this is definitely a long opportunity on Dr. Reddy's. There's lots of green, and probably a better long than Sun Pharma. I withdraw Sun Pharma's view, not view, the call. And Dr. Reddy's, yes, go long. Stop loss below 2600. You have to be patient. 2800 first, 2850, and then who knows, maybe in 2300. Not very typical, or rather quite atypical actually. This could be head and shoulder, right? Left shoulder, big head, right shoulder, small one. So there. Right. So this is so 2620 on the lower side, 2800 on the upper side. Sorry, 2527, 250 bucks. I just break out and then maybe 29, even 3000 could definitely happen. A lot of resistances just sitting to push it back down. Every time it falls, for now, just keep buying it. April, May, June, 3 months base formation, and it will be a very slow, painful move, or you'll get something suddenly. It'll move in a few 1 or 2 3 days. It'll correct, then go for a long pause, then again the next move will come. Very difficult to predict when the move will come. That's the whole problem, right? So uh, yeah, but it looks like maybe the worst for it is over. 2-year downtrend has come to a good support point and is taking off from there. Possible, possible, possible. All right, so that is Dr. Reddy's. Cipla, also bullish, yes. 480 to 550, got stuck with the resistances. One could go along with a stop loss below 530 and 570, 590 are possibilities over a 2-3 month time frame. Lupin, whoa, maybe getting at a really good place. Okay, in terms of nice setup. All right, 1,000 rupees psychological mark. It was a 2,200 rupees stock, come to a 3-year resistance, sorry, support, and yes, taking off. Yep. Go long on Lupin. Definitely stop loss should be below 1,000, or it may actually come to 1,000 and go up. Um, it may actually do that. Stocks sometimes just tend to do this. You have all these bullish candles now, but then just go remember that, I mean, not you, the stock will remember that 1,000 is there and go hit 1,000 and just come back. And, putting a stop loss then sometimes becomes so futile. But 1020 is a level that actually has not been tested. So don't be surprised if say some event, some random thing, and you'll get another crack like this, and patak, it will go from 1,300 to 1,100, or from 1,200 to 1,050, $150. Yeah, if it does $150 down, it will come to 1020 or 1,000 and then take off from there. Or it could have already taken off. What I'm saying is, even if you get in now and if you hit the stop loss, look for uh, again buying opportunity at a lower level. Or you could get in now. Volumes are really good on these green candles, and just keep holding. First resistance is definitely at 1170, 1169, and then after that 1250. I think if I found a strong buy for this week, it is on Lupin. Okay. Oro Pharma, that was the fantastic buy here. You see that volume and you see that Marubozu. From there 600, it at 700. It's already, run off and probably going, higher and higher, no doubt about it. This is what Lupin could do. This was the picture Lupin could have in a few months, right? So look at the recovery, just in one day so much, and then it just, kept going up. Even this is a buy with a stop loss below 665, break 710, and then this could go even higher all the way to 760. Yeah, 760, who knows, even 800 in a few weeks or months from now. All right, so pharma all looking long. I think the most compelling one is Lupin. Um, has not yet recovered as much as the others have. So I'm basically looking at a catch-up game here. And even if it does a little bit of that, there's a considerable amount of upside there. Coming to Bharti. So Bharti is in an 8-year sideways move. So don't forget that. Right now, there is some news I saw that 21st of July or something, that Reliance is going to introduce those basic feature phones for 500 rupees a phone. and their 4G network. Now, if that happens, I don't know if the floor will fall out of the telecom space, and God knows what will happen to all the telecom companies. But and on the other hand, Reliance in the last 1 or 2 weeks has announced even more programs, because that summer offer is now coming to an end from July. It'll end, so we'll all have to start paying, those of us who have Geo numbers, from August. But in the meantime, some new schemes are being launched, etc., etc. Now, in the face of that, Airtel is going up. Now, that's really, really interesting. So if I have to take a pure technical view, this is to be bought right now. But all the industry news which is there, I mean, I think it's at at risk. But whatever, the market knows better. So who are the hell am I to second guess whatever? I just have to say whatever is there on the charts, and that's it. So this is looking bullish. Stop loss below 370, 371. Could go to 400, and I think if it breaks 400, which it hasn't gone through for quite some time, so almost what, 1 or 2 years. Let's put this line. So you had some freak trade in 2017. Leave that. Now it's breaking this. That's a 2-year resistance. It's breaking out of. And if I have to go back and look at anything, then there's only a psychological level of 400 that I can think of. And just see how it behaves at that price. So there's a short-term trading opportunity to 400 at least. If 400 breaks out, then even 440. After that, does it break out like Reliance? I don't know. But that's the market. You were expecting all sorts of negative news, and then suddenly something happens, and then it's on a long-term uptrend, right? So that is Bharti for you. Nice up move. Also 400 short term. I mean, who knows next week. After that, in steps of 10 all the way to 440 is a distinct possibility. Infratel, well, same story. It was a spin-off from Airtel. Look at the big move that Infratel did this week. It just shot off from 375 to 404. And did it do that on volumes? Yes, sort of. Not very. Yep, it did. Not very convincing, but anyhow, right? And that's another stock which is probably going all the way to 425, and then after that, who knows, 480. Yep, looks like that. LNT. So LNT looking iffy, right? Could definitely taken support. One could perhaps look at going long actually, but that downtrend line is not yet broken. But still, given all the support which is there below that, I would rather stick my neck out and say go long, stop loss below 1650. If it breaks 1735, then all the way to 17901800 is definitely possible on LNT. All right. Z, 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 Z. It looks like a double top there for now. So not sure whether I'd give this a pass for now. Might actually go down rather than go up. Quite a bit of selling. 520. Okay. Wondering as a short or go long on this Z. Short. That's okay. Leave it. When I find me using too much of my brain cells to figure out, just to move on. Okay. Look at this. Volumes coming down quite a bit. Not sure what this stock wants to do. It could be that the uptrend is over for now. It has tried to, go up, 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 but the volumes here have been not been very great. Today we had a sell-off, nothing on great volume. Again, stuck with all the long-term moving averages. We'll give it a pass. Adani Ports, well, this has really been, just going up and up. Has it made a new life high or what this week? Attempting to make a new life high. Looks like that. All right, attempting to make a new life high. And I somehow feel that this is just a wait and watch game and might actually break out. This might be one of those stocks that if the market corrects, the market will buy. Okay, overall market will correct, but this will get bought because at least, if nothing else, the perceived closeness of the Adani group to the BJP and Modi and whatever else they might be doing. So this might become a defensive pick. So yep, I would say think about going long on this and tough to put where the stop loss should be. If you are in the spot market, then stop loss below 355. If you're a trader, it could be even 365. But I think any dip to 350, even to 330 might actually be used for buying and be very patient. 380 breaks and 400 could come very quickly and 500 could also come, I think, quite fast. It just seems to me, it looks like it is more itching to go up than anything else. Monthly chart looking nice, looking healthy, looking quite bullish. Yep, let's say Adani ports should be go on. You should go long on it. Positional. Okay, great. So that brings us to the end of the Nifty 50 review. I think we found a lot more longs than shorts. Adani, even maybe Bharti, uh, just the whole bunch of pharma stocks, especially Cipla, right? Cipla, Lupin, sorry, Lupin. Yeah. Okay, Lupin, and then Tata Steel. A lot of the IT stocks seem to be at some good supports. Banks better to stay away. Reliance is a long. Um, and even maybe Maruti and things like Ultratech. Shorts, very committed shorts, not that many. So again, puts us in a sort of quandary a little bit because opening we started with Nifty and we said maybe may not be up for now, but now looking a little bit more like it might be bullish on the Nifty and the 9,700 might actually break out. If not next week, maybe after that. I don't see any major political, financial, or weather related downsides. Not that I'm seeing any upsides, but I don't see any factor that I can think of. If anyone on the session knows anything, please feel free to share. And yep, that's it for now. Right. So wishing you a Mokari Maka next week. And next week again at this time, or not at this time, we'll be finishing. At next week Friday, we'll have the next IMR, and I wish you a very profitable week ahead. Hopefully that this was useful, insightful. You have the contact information on the screen. Any criticisms, feedback, suggestions, please do feel free to reach, and we can improve the IMR experience for all of us. Thank you and have a great weekend. Good night.